Most people picture the president behind the resolute desk, signing legislation, taking calls from world leaders, shaping the direction of the country. That does happen, but those moments represent only part of the job. This video answers 4 questions. What does a typical presidential day actually look like? Who controls the time of the most powerful person in the country? What happens when a crisis overtakes the schedule entirely? And what happens if a president refuses to leave office after his 2 terms? The president's day often starts early. Before breakfast is finished, the day is already mapped out in a document his staff prepared the night before. It lists every meeting, every call, every public appearance, every press moment, down to the minute. Who is he seeing? For how long? And what are they there to discuss? A typical day might include a morning intelligence briefing, meetings with senior advisors, policy discussions, calls to foreign leaders, a ceremonial bill signing, a reception, and public remarks, sometimes all before dinner. That is a full day, but here is what's missing. The president didn't write it, someone else did. The chief of staff is one of the most powerful gatekeepers in the White House. Along with senior staff, the chief of staff helps determine what reaches the president, who receives time with him, and which issues are escalated to his attention. Supporting that role is a broader operation. Schedulers manage every hour of the president's day. A national security advisor filters intelligence and foreign policy matters. A senior advisor shapes the options put in front of him. A press team manages what he says publicly and when. The president's attention is the most sought-after resource in Washington. Hundreds of people work to influence what he sees, who gains access to him, and what he is asked to decide. Crises do not follow a schedule. An attack, a natural disaster, an unexpected move by a foreign government, a financial shock. When any of these occur, the day's agenda is set aside. The president moves to the Situation Room, a secure facility in the basement of the West Wing. Intelligence officials brief him on what is known and what remains unclear. Advisors present options. The president questions them, pushes back, and ultimately decides. Certain decisions cannot be delegated. Military and intelligence officials can prepare options and carry out directives, but specific authorities under law belong to the president alone. Advisors can counsel, but when the decision is legally his to make, no one else makes it. These moments represent a small fraction of a president's time in office, but the possibility that they can occur at any point without warning is a constant feature of the role. Whenever the president travels, a military aide accompanies him. The aide carries what is known as the nuclear football, a system containing communication equipment and decision support materials that allows the president to communicate with military authorities regarding the use of nuclear weapons. It accompanies him to Camp David aboard Air Force One and on overseas travel. Air Force One functions as a flying command center designed to keep the presidency operational while the president is in the air. There is no period during a presidential term when the president is fully off duty. Intelligence briefings continue. Calls arrive without regard to the hour. Decisions do not defer to weekends or holidays. The transfer of presidential authority is automatic. At noon on January 20th, the outgoing president's term ends by law, regardless of whether he agrees to leave. At that point, the former president has no legal authority. He cannot issue binding orders or direct the military. The government recognizes the new president because the old president's authority has already ended. The Constitution doesn't spell out a special procedure for removing a former president who refuses to vacate. But he would no longer be the president. He would simply be occupying an office he no longer has the legal authority to hold. At noon on January 20th, his authority is over. To continue learning more about the United States, subscribe.